surrounded by wrestling fans. Not sports entertainment fans. Professional wrestling fans! Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up! This is
the Wrestling Matters Podcast, a podcast that stands up for professional wrestling. Why? Because wrestling matters. So join the revolution, because the revolution is now. Hey, start the show.
World, look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world. We are ICW and you're gonna know our name. Here we fucking go!
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change!
Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up!
Yes! 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 Yes!
That's 13-14!
Make it till death!
Dina, I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold Simpson.
Why, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another installment of the ICW Podcast. That's right, ICW Podcast. My name is Anthony Walker, here for another installment. It is Fight Night 2, or Fringe Night 2 review. You Have the Right to Remain Dead, August 10th of 2014. Hope you're enjoying these podcasts. Hope you're enjoying these little schedule that I'm doing up until August. As you well know, you're going to get this one today, the Fringe Night review today, and you're going to get the third one in 2 weeks, because next week I'm going to be reviewing Shug's Hoose Party. That's right, Hoose Party number 1, building into number 2, which takes place July 26th and 27th. I think it's a double night thing, but I know it's going to be a big weekend on that week, no doubt. Anyway, Fringe Night 2 kicked off this time with Jack Jester comes to the ring. Gives a history lesson, talks about what happy Shug's house party was and how much of a big night it was, and said he was upset with what Drew said, that he came back to be the man. He says if he comes back to take that world title from him, then Drew's got another thing coming, and says the next time he sees Drew, he may not be responsible for what happens. A little message to Mr. Galloway, and then Jester eventually ends up getting real, saying that he's not talking to Drew Galloway as Jack Jester, he's talking to Drew Galloway as Lee Craig, which is his real name. Anyway, moving on from that. First wrestling match, Big Damo versus Lewis Garv. Lewis drop kicks Damo off the apron, then dives on him twice rather, gets caught the third time, and then gets put on chairs, and then Damo cannonballs the chairs, which basically just goes right through the crowd, which is hilarious. Damo, showing he is a monster, power slams Lewis, then stands on him, hits the senton and gets a near fall. Lewis rocks Damo with an enziguri, then hits 3 elbows, then a springboard elbow and gets a near fall off that. Damo hits the rolling senton and gets a near fall. Lewis hits a bro kick, then that angered Damo, and then Damo hit one of his own. Lewis gets a victory roll, gets a near fall, hits a kick, then a single leg code breaker and gets a near fall out of that. Damo catches Lewis, hits Belfast bomb and gets a near fall. Lewis just will not die. Damo hits his finisher on Lewis and gets the win. Damo offers a handshake, but Lewis slaps him, and then Lewis takes a clothesline. Damo shakes his hand anyway and leaves. Next match is David Devlin, which is better known as Yum Yum, versus Joe Hendry. Joe runs his mouth and saying he is going to make an example out of Yum Yum. Great wrestling. Joe gets a near fall and gets another one. Advantage Joe wrestling Yum Yum. Joe has an advantage wrestling. Yum Yum gets 2 arm drags and a drop kick and gets a near fall. Yum Yum goes for a slingshot. Joe cuts him off and Joe gets a near fall off that. Advantage Joe. Joe getting a near fall, unloading with Joe, and the advantage is with Joe at this point as well. Yum Yum in deep trouble. Yum Yum hits a kick on Joe, creating space, fights back, and Joe throwing kicks, then forearms, then runs into a leg drop kick from Joe, and Joe gets a near fall, and then gets another one, and then another one again. Joe in total control. Yum Yum hits the enziguri and gets a near fall. Joe counters a clothesline and hits a DDT and gets a near fall off that. Kennedy wants to throw a chair into the match for Joe. Kenny stops that, argues with Kenny Williams that is, argues counters with Kennedy, and Joe is distracted. Yum Yum gets the roll up and gets the win. Kennedy and Hendry do not look too happy with Kenny. Kennedy gives him the once over, and then Hendry attacks Kenny, and Kennedy says the beatdown will continue if he continues to show James R. Kennedy up. Chris Renfrew comes out. The NAK come out rather. They cut a promo on Jack, and Chris just shoots his mouth off and shoots his way to the fans, calling him a wanker, saying that Jack is a wanker and just has a go at the fans. Jack's side, Jack went home because everyone would rather see Drew. Calls out someone for a fight. Wolfgang's music plays, but it's BT dressed as Wolfgang. And Chris says they like to thank someone, Mr. Liam Thompson, and ask him to come to the ring. Liam comes to the ring. NAK start talking about Carmel, and Liam doesn't take too kindly to that and jumps the NAK, which leads to the match Darkseid versus Liam Thompson. Darkseid chokes Liam and unloads on him. Liam hits a drop kick on Darkseid, knocks Darkseid off the apron. Liam then dives on Darkseid and takes the fight in the crowd. Darkseid laid across the guardrail. Liam hits a double axe handle. Liam on top takes a kick to the gut. Darkseid gets a near fall out of that. Knee drop gets Darkseid a near fall. Darkseid locks in a wee fat Taz cradle, which is he hooks it. He gets his back's to him. He hooks the legs and then pulls on the arms and everything, and he's like he's swinging across on him, which is very unique. Great takedown gets Darkseid a near fall. Suplex cradle gets a near fall for Darkseid. Darkseid in total control at this point. Double storm to the jaw gets Darkseid a near fall. Liam counters GTS, hits a corner clothesline, then goes up top and hits a drop kick and gets a near fall out of that. Clothesline, then drop kick, roll up, gets Liam a near fall. Then Liam hits a powerbomb and gets a near fall off that. Liam unloads on Darkseid. Darkseid hits a dragon suplex, then goes for a powerbomb, but Liam lands on his feet and Darkseid just hits him with a huge hard hitting clothesline and gets a near fall. Darkseid looks a choke. Liam gets out, hits a Northern Lights suplex, gets a near fall. Darkseid counters. Liam hits a fireman carry slam from the top, gets a near fall. Liam counters and Darkseid driver hits a backcracker, gets a near fall. Liam misses the diving headbutt. Darkseid hits the Darkseid driver again and gets the victory. And that is the end of part one. That was the end of part one because that was the first half. And I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to come back after this quick time out with part two of this review. So stay tuned. They say this is wrestling, but ladies and gentlemen, this is Progress Wrestling, and on July the 1st, Progress Wrestling comes to the Wrestling Matters podcast. That's right, Wednesday, July the 1st, I will present a podcast on Progress Wrestling, starting with Chapter 1, and from every week onwards, I will bring you every single show from that. ProgressWrestling.com, Progress Wrestling On Demand Service. Progress Wrestling comes to the Wrestling Matters podcast, July the 1st, only on SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, and OSW TV. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part two of this ICW podcast. Hope you've enjoyed it so far. So far, so good for me. Part two of Fight Night, or Fringe Night 1. Get Mendoza'd. Fucking hell, these names. Oh my god. Anyway, we'll kick off Night 2, Get Mendoza'd, with, believe, was Michael Dante and Dickie Davers. So, without further ado, we'll get right into it. Right, just get myself up here. There we are. Michael Dante and Dickie Divers. Right off the get-go, Dante spears Divers, gets a near fall. Dante taking the fight to Divers outside. Divers rocks Dante with an enziguri, which is where he gets him in the, he stands in the crowd and he's on the barricade, he just goes boom boom and then hits him with the enziguri, despite the fact he had to tell the crowd to move out the way, which was hilarious. Dante with power advantage gets a near fall off clothesline. Dante toying with Divers, power slams him and gets another near fall. Dante gets a near fall in total control. Divers kick to the gut, head kick to the gut, then the head, drop kick to the back, back, gets a near fall. Dante hits a powerful clothesline, gets a near fall. Dropkick, Beal, suplex, neck breaker combo, gets a near fall for Dante. Divers hits a double leg hook code breaker, gets a near fall. Small package gets Divers a near fall. Dante hits a spear and gets the win. A lot of mouthful in that one. Now, BT Gunn and Tommy End, because after that, Tommy End came walking out and BT Gunn went one-on-one with Tommy End. Feeling out process to start off, slow start. BT gets 2 roll-ups, hits a sunset flip and gets near falls out of them. Then takes a kick from Tommy End. Uppercut suplex combo gets a near fall for Tommy End. Tommy End just delivers and starts throwing kicks. End working on the ribs area of BT. Fight back does not work for BT Gunn. End gets quick near falls. Hard power slam by End. Both men throwing kicks. End got the advantage of it and gets a near fall. BT throws 2 chops, then takes a knee to the face, gets a near fall. End gets a near fall out of it. End misses a double stomp, and then BT hits a chop, then takes a forearm to the jaw, and End gets a near fall. Fireman's carry into a face buster, then a super kick gets BT a near fall. BT locks us on a single leg crab. End double stomp gets a near fall, and End small package gets a near fall. BT then hits a fireman's carry into a face buster. BT gets the win out of it, which is like a F5 kind of move in case you don't know, but he just takes the opponent takes a face bump between the legs area, but he's like sitting down kind of thing, which is pretty awesome. And it worked for BT because he got the win. Now for the main event of the evening, which was Colt Cabana and Grado 2. First one was at Dave's Not Here Man, which you will hear me review that August 11th. Now, both men start airplane spinning. Grado, Colt, Cabana turn it into Rock versus Hogan. Handshake, tug of war, advantage Colt. They were just pulling each other, and they shook hands and started pulling each other in and out kind of thing. It was hilarious. Crowd chant, say you're sorry, and then Colt says he's sorry and then kisses the ref. Grado does a DX chop, tells Colt to suck it, like, you know, the DX members. Crowd members in the front row, girls, chant suck his dick. Colt, Grado were like, what the fuck? Tie up turns into hair pulling. Grado gets hits the worst chop ever. Colt shows how it's done and then struts, and he did it again and again and again. Grado goes for a third attempt at it, but ends up poking Colt in the eye. Grado goes Ric Flair on Colt, slams him, goes Ric Flair. Colt slams him. Colt locks in the figure for 4. Grado gets rope break. Colt declares a dance off, and both men walk out. Grado comes back dressed as Colt Cabana and actually does a good impression of him. Colt comes out dressed as Grado, music and all, and does a great impression of him. Grado at times is like, what the fuck? Grado wins the dance off. Colt seems angry. Chain wrestling. Grado does it in a way in a weird position. Colt roll up, gets a near fall. Colt stops Grado from going through his legs. Grado lays him out with a right hand and gets a near fall out of it. Grado sets up for the rolling slice but misses. Colt goes Dusty on Grado and gets a near fall. Grado hits the rock bottom and gets a near fall. Grado splashes Colt, then goes up for the Undertaker old school move, but then Colt grabs him and then hits the GTS on him, or away to your bed as he calls it, and Colt beats Grado and gets even because, well, you'll find out August 11th, or if you've seen it already, you already know Grado won the first match. Colt celebrates in the ring, and then the NAK come down and jump Colt, Cabana and Grado. Grado and Colt challenge NAK for the tag titles. NAK deny that offer, but Mark Dallas comes out and makes the match for next week's show, Fringe Night 2, which is on next week's podcast. NAK, Chris Renfrew, BT Gunn faces Colt Cabana and Grado for the tag team titles. So basically it's NAK facing the team known as Iron Jew, and the NAK were not happy about. So I enjoyed that. 4 out of 5 for it, and yeah, it was on to the next show, number 2, and that will be reviewed next week. So until then, guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast, presented by Wrestling Matters, of course, yours truly, the HC at the end of the day. Do not forget to listen out and look out for the Fear and Loathing month in November of the ICW podcast as well, and all that starts November 3rd. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, tune in next time for another podcast. My name is Anthony Walker. Peace out.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up!
Yes! 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 Yes!
That's 13-14!
I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so.
If you like the Wrestling Matters podcast, why not check out the Wrestling Matters podcast Facebook fan page at www.facebook.com/WM podcast. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.